Hi.
Hi.
Hello. We're all
Mission.
reviewing uh, part 7 of Mission Impossible.
Part one, sub part one.
Uh,
Dead
Mission
Reckoning.
Dead
Impossible,
Reckoning,
Dead
part
Reckoning, part 1.
1. There we go.
That just took 2 minutes, but that's fine. It's a 2 hour 45 minute long movie, and that's just part one. Remember, it's the usual cast with some new additions. I mean, we are used to Rebecca Ferguson being there always, and along with that, we have Haley Atwell, we have Isai Morales, and Pom Clementieff all playing key roles. It's Mission Impossible, so what do you expect? There's a crazy mission. It involves an analog key and AI. And I think that's all that I need to say. Otherwise, it's just a series of crazy stunts. But yeah, what did you guys think?
Well, for me, even before I was quite reluctant to go because for a while it's just. I mean, how many times do I want to see Tom Cruise like jumping off a train or a plane or something? I was not that, and you always kind of expect it to be slightly predictable, and it was. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but that doesn't mean it was necessarily a bad thing. You could tell what's going to happen, but they did it well. Each thing I found, I was still really invested. I was on the edge of my seat. They had all the things that you expect from a good thrill, and you go for the thrills, you get them. I was really there. I was waiting. I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, this is gonna happen, and it did, and it was fun. A solid movie.
I think like the Mission Impossible series has always managed to kind of set itself apart from like your brain dead stuff like Fast and Furious, I guess. I don't know how, but it just manages to. And I think in this movie, I felt like we all now we just come to expect these crazy stunts, and all I'll say is like you can really feel in all, most of the stunts in this movie that like shit, that was Tom Cruise actually doing that.
Yeah.
Like especially the sequence I'm pretty sure which you've all seen and all of social media was alight with. You feel that moment, that jump in the theater. And I think for me personally in this movie, given it's kind of like it's emotional but funny and you don't see some stuff coming, so
Yeah.
in that case I felt like it was still a little unpredictable, but I felt like in this movie Tom Cruise actually acted really well. You get that sense of like that hope or that desperation in certain parts, and I really enjoyed the movie.
I agree. I felt it was more grounded. Even when doing the stunts, they talked about it. These are kind of impossible stunts, or, this can happen and that can happen. And he talked about it. And like Anvika mentioned, I was invested too. I loved it from the moment go. And I loved the description that they had of Ethan Hunt, master of deception, mind reading. I loved it. I made a note of it. Mind reading, shape shifting incarnation of chaos.
Exactly.
I was just sold on that.
Yeah, and
And
I think like he was also supported by everybody else's performances really well.
Incredible.
Like I
Solid.
think Haley Atwell was really good.
Really good.
Rebecca Ferguson is Rebecca
Simon
Ferguson.
Pegg is so comforting at this point.
Simon
They
Pegg,
just-
but I think like a standout to Isaiah Morales. I thought
He was
like when
amazing.
he's on screen, he overshadows even Tom Cruise. Like
Agreed.
he had like that weight, that presence on screen. Like when he just speaks, you shut up and listen.
So he was the right adversary.
Even Vanessa Kirby, I mean, I forgot to name her in the beginning, has a key role and does her bit as well, really
Right.
well. I just found a lot of things senseless. I think the movies make less and less sense, in the way that there are 100 opportunities to kill the protagonists, which are left, and then stuff happens, and all of that. It's like it's becoming like classic James Bond kind of a thing where
Yeah.
you can kill him 100 ways, but you choose to find the one way not to. And I found in this one, especially, it was getting to that point. I love the stunts. I think the fact that he does them is, and we
Always
see all of
blows
that
me
is for me, it's that which keeps me invested, I guess, more than the series itself or the story itself, etc. Like I said, for me, a lot of question marks on why or how or what or whether, and I think I have to learn to just put that at the back
Yeah.
of my head while watching it and just going for the thrills, as Anvika put it. But yeah, good cast. And just one dissonance is for me, Haley Atwell didn't work. I think the moment we had seen, going back to I think the fourth or the fifth one, Rebecca Ferguson, you felt for her. I felt for her. I had no such feeling for Haley
I
Atwell.
feel like they just put in a new
There was no
woman.
feeling, so it was very well portrayed. Because then she's trying to be, what she's
I
trying to
disagree with I
Yeah.
guess quite a bit of what you said there. I think like the plot in a way this time, given the current global situation, like the rise of AI and everything, it made it a lot more relatable. And I feel like for a lot of the things that they did, there was a lot of solid reasoning, you could say. Let's not say solid, but there was reasoning as to why they did what they did.
Right.
So that made sense. And I feel like Haley Atwell really worked because she's kind of like that deer under the headlights as a character.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly like thrust into this world. So in a way, you're kind of helpless, but like she's comforted by Ethan Hunt. And
It's
how
almost like if
over
one of
time they
us
begin to-
enters.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I'm there.
I think she did a really good job. And in a way, in my opinion, in this film, she like her part in my
Worked.
was better than like.
And for
Huh,
me,
she was understated. Rebecca Ferguson. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and just to sort of say that it's one of those movies where yes, things won't exactly make sense all the time, but there is this level of finesse that they bring with the things that they know how to do well. So the stunts and the fighting sequences and the thrills again.
The
They
and the
know how to do
humor
it.
in
The
this
humor's
was-
good. They have that click clack of the gun and everything. It's fun to watch, and the sound taking away and doing it. It's very
Yeah.
well put together. in
The
that
sound
sense.
design, that's
Very
a good point.
cool.
Like again, I come
Very
back to that scene, but the way they did the
Oh,
sound for that scene
oh.
was incredible.
Very cool. Keep you on the edge.
What would we say would be our ratings? At the count of three, we hold up our hands. 1, 2, 3. 7, 7, 7.
8.
And Ritu's on 8. All right. Interesting movie. I think different points of view from the Nagpal clan.
Looking forward to the
part
second
two.
part.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would say, and one of the reasons why I've given it a 7 is I am looking forward to the next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And looking forward to what crazy stuff
Stunt
we
he
do next.
does. Yeah.
Should we spare the friends the ending?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
It's an interesting end, and like I said, we all look forward to part 2. See you then. Thank
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.